This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. It's your weekly blitz with Chris, keeping you in the game.
Are you ready to supercharge your auto repair business? This is Coach Chris Cotton from AutoFix-Auto Shop Coaching. The Weekly Blitz is where industry expertise and business innovation collide, revving your engines for the week ahead. Every episode has game-changing insights, up-to-the-minute industry updates, and practical tips to shift your business into high gear, folks. We're talking about stuff you didn't even know you didn't know. If you haven't done so yet, please check out all of the other great podcasts on the Aftermarket Radio Network. That's aftermarketradionetwork.com. Hey, I also want to give a big shout out to Hunt with his Business by the Numbers podcast for mentioning me in his episode last week. If you're not already listening to him, you definitely should be. Also, big thanks to Shop Marketing Pros for sponsoring the Weekly Blitz. Brian and Kim Walker know the industry inside and out as former shop owners. They don't do copy and paste marketing. They do create unique strategies for each client individually. They offer incredible marketing that gets results, helping your clients and future employees to know, like, and trust you. Join their Auto Repair Marketing Mastermind Facebook group for Tuesday teachings once a month. Shop Marketing Pros is top-tier marketing for top-tier shops. Visit shopmarketingpros.com/Chris. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I wanted to bring in Coach Mike with AutoFix, and he's been a previous guest on the show before. We have a special shop we're going to talk about today. We're going to call this Project X because we are changing names to protect the innocent. But in this case, it's a really, really great story so far, actually. So this shop, well, actually, I'm going to bring Coach Mike in. I'm going to let him talk about the shop a little bit and just make sure, number one, I want you to hear is that this shop is absentee owner owned. The shop's in the upper Midwest. Shop owner lives in California and has spent, a day at the shop since we started, Coach Mike?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the absentee owner situation and where we're at with that.
Yeah, so absentee owners, it can be very difficult a little bit at times when it comes to accountability. So it really requires contact, during the week a little bit. And it also requires someone, the guy in the building, the manager, or whatever the case may be, head service advisor, to really be a strong leader and to be accountable for the staff, to hold everything together. So those have been some of the goods and the bads in trying to build the shop from literally nothing. I mean, just a little rundown. The owner's never been in the automotive industry, never been a mechanic, never been an advisor. He's never done anything in the auto industry. And he's just a real estate guy, smart guy. And then ended up getting a shop off of a real estate deal. And he said, well, it seems like a decent business. Let's see what we can do with it. So from there, we went from a little two-bay shop, one advisor, barely doing 10K a week to, we're pushing the 30K mark now weekly. Turning profit, we're really modernizing the shop and making it really efficient and work.
What are some of the first things that you realized with this business and kind of where did you start with it?
Starting points with all kinds of new people into the industry was DVIs, making sure we actually had someone in the building with some kind of technical experience, that could kind of give guidance to other staff as we brought in other staff to kind of grow this thing. This is a tire business, that does some repair, that now they're going more into the repair side. So definitely wanted to make sure we brought in a good, decent tech, someone that the guys could lean on, and then a manager wise that, again, was willing to learn and willing to take on our ways and run with it. And so far, there's definitely been some challenges, but the staff is doing DVIs, and not only are they doing DVIs, we're starting to get flush machines there. I mean, you got to think this shop had no equipment hardly. I mean, they had a couple bays, but no flush machines, no nothing. Really, it's just the empty barrel. We're starting from pretty much scratch all the way around.
If I remember correctly, one of the things we did with them in the beginning is we switched them, I think, from Mitchell to Techmetric. Can you talk about how important that is for everybody being able to see the business, like you, the absentee owner, and then the shop itself?
Yeah, 100%. I coach a couple shops and they have absentee owners, and there's zero way you can have a shop, with Mitchell not being a cloud-based system and be away from it and be able to track all the numbers. Techmetric is a game changer. The fact that you can see all the numbers, you can open up every ticket, you can break down and analyze everything. I mean, it's a have to. If you're not going to be in the shop every day or at least 2 to 3 times a week, you got to have Psychometric. I mean, you got to have a cloud-based system, period.
And the other thing I like about it is it also, you and I can look at it real time. You can do your coaching calls with them, same time, real time. You can also go in as a coach and look at the quality of inspections and kind of how they're building estimates. I know that's been an interesting process. Do you want to talk about that and how you've used that and worked with them on like inspections, building estimates and such?
Well, even from a more foundational point, like these guys didn't even know anything about a parts matrix. They didn't know anything about how to set up a labor margin. When you talk ground floor, I did all of that, and I was able to do that through Techmetric. I built these guys different matrices with tire matrix, regular parts matrix, battery, and so on. Can jobs. I mean, I was able to help build can jobs with these guys across the board, get our margin set on all those. So it's been critical. And then estimates. Yeah, we're doing estimate training now. I'm trying to teach them how to install notes correctly and making sure that, guys, this is a legal document. If a guy diagnoses something, what do we do to figure out this issue and make sure that we're inputting that data correctly?
Can you talk about a couple of things? Maybe just start with one thing that kind of was an issue, you were able to overcome it, and then like how you overcame it, either from anything, either from the inspections or whatever.
The staff, we're really having a problem with DVIs and getting them to buy in. And one of the things I was able to do was I got with the whole staff. We did a big call together. I asked each staff member, if I gave you a shop today, I said, how would you build this shop? How would you get this people in the door? Not only how would you get people in the door, then once you have them in the door, what would you do with those people and these tickets? And I broke down like every scenario for them. And I said, I want to know how you would do it. And crazy thing is, well, we would inspect the vehicle real good. Well, we would make sure that we did all the estimates properly. And then they left with estimates on things that they didn't do. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure that you're saying if I gave you this shop tomorrow, you would do what we're asking you to do to build your business. And they were like, yeah. I was like, okay, guys, so let's build on that. That's all we're asking you to do. We're asking you to do what, any owner in this world would want to do, is to build this company up and make it better. And I even showed him, I'm like, look, and now we're making profit. And now with this profit, what has this owner done? He's immediately went out and bought a balancer. That was an issue within the shop, right? Because we have profit now. We have money to do that with. And you guys want, a new alignment machine, and you guys want all this stuff. Well, we're being able to buy these things and do this stuff because this is, one, it's a team effort. You do the inspections, the sales guy sells correctly, the company starts making money. Then in turn, we can afford this. And this is how we grow together. You guys want bigger paychecks? Well, again, it all comes back to how we do this as a team. I think I really connected with them there and opened their eyes to, we're not trying to just do this to charge people or whatever. We're doing this because we're trying to build a business, and we're trying to build a successful, profitable business.
And you've done an absolutely fabulous job with this. And again, if you're tuning in late or skipped it, Mike started, they were doing $10,000 a week, and now they're doing 25 with the same staff, and their margins are in line. I think at this point, shop owners happy. For the most part, the employees are happy and all of that. Am I correct?
Yeah, very much so. And I mean, the craziest part is, and honestly, Chris, it's a great experiment for me. I run a big shop, like a large operation. I've always been part of a pretty large operation. Being in such a small shop and just seeing how we can make it successful. And to be honest with you, we're probably running around a 70% efficiency rate, 60% efficiency rate. To know that there's still that much more room for growth at this place is just phenomenal, right? It's like you can do it on such a small level and still be so successful and operate within, pretty great margins if you're doing it correctly. So it really opened my eyes up to the real potential of a small shop.
And so the other thing, to go back, we have an absentee owner who's never been in the business, doesn't know anything about auto repair, and he saw an opportunity and he took it. He hired us, more than doubled his income, probably quadrupled his profit, if not more. As far as I know, he's looking for another shop to buy, right?
Oh yeah, he's all in. He wants more shops. He said that's his new business game, is buying shops. So yeah, for sure. He really likes it. And again, this has been in less than a year. We've been able to do all this with this guy, and we're still growing. We're still making it better. So it's been fun, and there's definitely been some turnover and some stuff. We've got to work through some bad apples for sure. But, once we get the right guys that are willing to grind and, buy into what we're trying to do, it flows, man, and it works.
So let's talk about the bad apples for a minute. You're not there. He's not there. And we've been able to get rid of the people that we didn't need or they've left on their own. And we've still been able to bring in people to help us out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, again, the beauty of Techmetric is I can look at these guys' estimates. I can see the DVI versus the estimate and see what, who's actually working in this building and who's not. And we were able to see that we had some lazy guys right out the gate. They didn't want to buy in. They didn't understand it. It didn't make sense to them. We're just going to do a tire patch, and that's all we need to do. I'm like, no one in the world can make a profit on a tire patch, guys. But they wouldn't buy in. And we were able to see that they continually were fighting us. We did interviews with multiple guys, and we found another guy, and we just leveled up. I mean, we went from a $200 average repair order to a $570 average repair order, within 3 months, just by changing over some front office people. And now we're taking the 570 and trying to get 780. We're moving, and we've been hitting those marks. And so now it's trying to be consistent at those marks. But you're going to have people that fight you, and you're going to have guys that just don't want to buy in. And we can say and do everything we can under the sun to try to convince them of the value of this and what we're trying to do. Some people are just stuck in their ways, and you got to get them out. You got to get the bad apples out, and you got to get guys that want to buy in and want to work on the team. And once we get those guys and more of those guys, anything's possible in this shop.
And just because you're stuck in the mud and you're doing it doesn't mean that there's not a better way and you can't get help. Again, I tell you this all the time. You've done a great job with this shop, continue to do a great job with this shop. So kind of what is next for this shop? Like, what are you working on now? And then what do you see you working on a couple of months from now?
A couple things. Initially, when I first grabbed them, the car count was quite low. I mean, we were barely getting, 20, 25 cars in a week. I think we've addressed that and we fixed that. We've hired a marketing team and we've started to take pictures, a social media page, we're doing all that kind of stuff. We're getting traffic. Our phone's ringing and it's ringing consistently, right? It's been a great summer. I'm hoping to carry over that into, the fall and the winter. Now it's the Midwest. It gets cold and it snows and, people don't go out as much as they are right now, obviously, right? But we got to plan for that, and we got to battle that. My goal is they had one real tech that was decently getting hours when we started. Now we have 3 to feed. My goal is to feed them and add another one, hopefully, by the end of the year, if possible. And I'm trying to actually add in another advisor or at least an assistant to the service manager advisor currently. So next move really is an assistant to the service manager. And then from there, making sure we're getting at least 80 to 100% efficiency out of all of our techs. And then from there, looking to see if we can get another tech.
This is like a small town in the Midwest. As far as like community involvement or marketing, like what's next for that in order to help keep the base full and whatever?
Well, so I'm a firm believer. I mean, me, I'm a coach, I'm a dad. This is what I do. I'm in my community every single day, loud and proud. My people in the local area around here know me. I've been talking to, the owner about some of that lower, smaller community stuff. Some people write that off as not that important. I think it's everything. I couldn't tell you how many clients of mine come from me from just coaching their kid one time 5 years ago. Right. And they still come to my business. You know what I mean? So community involvement, whether it be cookouts or a day where you bring everybody out and we do like you do like a meet and greet, or we could do something along the lines of kind of teach people about their cars, like come out.
Like an open house? Or...
Yeah. We did it here, and I can't even think of what it's called. I had all my technicians set up, and we had different little stalls for each guy, and like one guy would teach them about cooling system and how to check it, when to check it.
Oh, okay.
So something along those lines, like get people to your door, introduce them, have a bounce house, have a cookout, and bring people out and let them, actually see who you are and meet you and know that you are part of the community. And the guys that work there too, having them reach out. That's one of the things. And then also reach out to other businesses. Who's got other vehicles in this area? Businesses do. We should be going, knocking on doors, dropping donuts off, introducing ourselves, saying, hey, I don't know what you heard about them in the past, but we're a new business, and this is us. And we do things the right way, and we're going to stand behind what we do and shake some hands.
So here's the hurdle is without the owner there, then who does that? Now, I know probably, well, I'll just stop there. Like, okay, if the owner's not there, who's going to do that?
Well, again, that comes back to buy-in, right? You need that service manager who's a dog, who loves what he's doing, and he's trying to grow this. So you need him, honestly, and you need the techs. It's, again, I always say it's a team. You want a team. You want fans. You need clients that are your fans, and you need your team members to be fans who want to grow that business as well. They want more work, right? They want bigger paychecks. They should all be involved in that. If they're at their kid's ball game, man, here's a business card. Here's a referral card. We'll get you in the door. We'll help you out. We'll do whatever we can for you. So getting the whole staff to buy in.
And no, that's great. I'm big on community involvement. So anything else that comes to mind that you wanted to talk about, something that we skipped or I forgot to ask you or something that you just sparked?
with that shop and being absentee owner, yeah, I mean, I would say that accountability with your staff and making sure that you as the owner, even though you're not there, you can still be accountable from far away, as in ticket audits, making sure that you're running through all your tickets and making sure that the guys are doing things the way you want it and that you're actually paying attention. Numbers, know your numbers, effective labor rate, looking at discounts, know everything. By knowing the numbers and talking to that manager every week and being ahead of him, hey, looking ready for the next thing. That's a big part of what I do with the owner is I'm like, hey man, you need to check this number out. This doesn't look right. We need to fix this. This is kind of, slacking. And then we do our homework and we're ready for that talk when we talk every week. I think really being able to stay on it. Now, if you want to be an absentee owner and not talk to the shop and go months at a time and, have no involvement at all, that's not going to happen unless you have phenomenal manager. But if you want to be that guy, talks to that business once a week, twice a week, maybe, but does his homework before we get on that call and after the call and really takes his time and has a conscious conversation with the staff, you can definitely make it happen. You can do it.
That's awesome. Again, thanks for being with me today. Thanks for sharing. I know we're not talking too specific because we want to keep the owner's name out of it, which they'd probably be okay with it. Maybe we can have them on sometime. There are three of us just talking about it and talking that through. We fully expect to get another location out of him pretty quick. Any final thoughts or words from you today?
Yeah, I would say to any business owner, myself included, keep moving forward, keep making your shop better, constantly paying attention, man, really striving and driving for the next thing. Really, that's it. Just got to work, got to pay attention. And really, it is possible, but you have to put the work in. If you want things to happen, you want that efficiency to change, you want whatever it is, grab a coach and learn how to do it and then really push your staff and they can do it. You'd be really surprised what, we've taken staffs that can barely do 30% efficiency to doing 70, 80%, 100% efficiency.
Right.
We can take the same people and do that just by getting them to buy in and understand and let your staff and your team see the numbers, be a part of the numbers. I think that really helps as well.
Yeah. And I really love that. You got to put in the work as an owner, one way or the other, got to hold your people accountable, hire a great coach like Mike. So that's awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today. I know you're busy. I can hear those guys in the background with their tools and everything going. So that's awesome. And we're recording this on a Monday. So I know you got things to do. Thanks so much and keep doing a great job. You are awesome.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Hey, everybody. Thanks to all of our incredible listeners. Your passion and drive motivate us to deliver top-notch content. A big shout out to our sponsor, Shop Marketing Pros. If your shop is the best in town, but your marketing isn't cutting it, it's time for a change. Shop Marketing Pros understands your business and ensures your shop stands out. Where quality meets visibility, Shop Marketing Pros ensures your auto repair shop stands out in a crowded market. Thanks for tuning into the Weekly Blitz. Remember, it's time to rise, grind, and keep your mindset positive. Until next time, this is Coach Chris Cotton and Coach Mike signing off. Have a great day, everybody.
You've been listening to the Weekly Blitz with Coach Chris Cotton on the AftermarketRadioNetwork.com. Follow Chris on your favorite podcast listening app. Let him know what you'd like him to cover. His email is in the show notes. Chris is all for advancing the aftermarket.